Now, the other day, I was just on YouTube, I was scrolling, and I saw a video from someone who said something like, I am a cooked computer science graduate. I watched the video. This wasn't a YouTuber. It was just someone doing, a raw, unfiltered video of them talking for 25 minutes. And they essentially explained that they feel completely lost. They have no idea how to land a job. They just graduated a degree. They spent tens of thousands of dollars, 4 years of their life, and they really don't know what to do. They mentioned they're broke. They're living with their parents. They need some kind of job, even if it's not a software development job, and they don't want to give up on this, but they don't really know what they're supposed to be doing. So I wanted to make this video not in a direct response to that, but just as something to maybe give you a little bit of motivation or something to think about if you are in this field, because I understand that right now the market is tough. A lot of people are feeling the way that that guy was in the video, and I do sympathize with you, right? I get it. I work with software engineers every single day that are in this exact position. And the first thing I notice is that they just feel defeated. You've applied to thousands of positions. You're not getting a single callback. Nobody wants to hire you. It feels like the market's getting tougher every single day. We have AI. It feels like everything's out against you, right? Anything you do, it's like there's some competing force that's just pushing you down, and you don't really feel any hope. And I completely understand why you would feel like that, but I want to give you a little bit of hope in this video, or at least tell you some things that you can do, because I think the most empowering thing that you can feel when you're going through this process is that you're actually the one that's in control. It may feel like there's all these other factors and that there's nothing that you can do, but I promise you, you can take actions to better your situation. No matter how tough the market is, no matter how crap the economy is, no matter how many people are applying, no matter how much AI is coming into software development roles, you can land a job. And I say that confidently because I've done it with many, many people. I've worked with tons of software engineers where, whether it was from my guidance or something else, they have landed entry-level software engineer roles. That has happened. I've seen it over and over and over again. But the only people that do that are the ones that take control. They take accountability and they change their mindset from everything that's negative and everything that's wrong to what can they actually be doing on a day-to-day basis to better themselves. Now, if you're someone who does want to adopt that mindset, and I understand it's difficult to do that. I'm not saying, the market's great and it's easy just to go and take all these actions. But if you're someone who does, keep watching this video because I will give you some piece of advice that I think will really help you throughout this job search. And just to tack on to that, if you're someone who's, not really in that boat right now and you still kind of just feel like a victim in this market, what I want to say is that you can feel sorry for yourself all you want, but you can only control what you can control. None of us watching this video can control the market. We can't control macroeconomics. We can't control, if there's going to be a bunch of layoffs or if something's going to happen or if AI is going to take over. There's only a few things that we can really do individually. And if you do all of those things and it doesn't work, okay, you gave it a fair shot. But I guarantee most of you are not doing those things. And while, again, we can complain all we want, that doesn't help us, right? It doesn't help to feel sorry for ourselves. And while I get you would feel like that, and I totally relate to that feeling, the only thing you can do is control the variables that are in your control. When you adopt that mindset, I find that you have this very kind of freeing, feeling where you just get rid of the stress, you get rid of the anxiety, because you realize I'm in control. It's up to me. I can make the changes. I don't have to make the changes, but I'm not going to worry about all of these things that I don't have any control over. Anyways, I just want to touch on that point, and we'll continue with the rest of the video after a quick word from today's sponsor. One of the things you're going to hear a lot of people talking about when they talk about landing a job is to stop watching tutorials and doing real work. Now, if you want some skills that employers are actually hiring for, you need to practice hands-on, right? And I've done this many times, and it makes a massive difference. Now, TryHackMe is the world's largest hands-on cybersecurity training platform with over 6 million users that are learning by doing. You launch your labs right in your browser with no installation or no setup, and you follow guided challenges with real commands and solve tasks that mirror real-world situations. Knowing the theory is fine, but if you want to stand out, you need proof that you can actually do the job. And that's why TryHackMe created 2 job-focused certifications that are designed to prove real skills. The first is a Security Analyst Level 1, SAL1, and then the Junior Penetration Tester, or PT1. Now, SAL1 proves that you can work as a security analyst in SOC. You investigate alerts, analyze activity, and respond to incidents inside of the live SOC simulator. The exam mixes practical simulations with knowledge questions and shows that you can handle real workflows, not just facts. PT1 proves that you can perform a professional penetration test, you find and exploit vulnerabilities in web applications, networks, and Active Directory. And then you write a short report explaining what you found and how you can fix it. It mirrors the tasks that real penetration testers do every single day and demonstrates that you can think like an ethical hacker. Now, both certifications are built by TryHackMe and industry experts to match the roles companies are hiring for. They focus on action, not just theory, and give you credentials that actually prove ability. Now, you can get 25% off these certifications using the code TIM25CERT. You can also use the code to get 25% off an annual subscription. Click the link in the description, choose the certification that fits your path, register, and start today. Okay. So as I was saying, if you are someone who wants to take life into your own hands, the first thing that I definitely recommend doing if you're trying to get a software engineering job is really tailoring your resume to one particular type of role and picking a specialization or a niche that you want to get into. Now, I say this, and I've repeated it many times on this channel because it's so important. In this market, you can't be a general software engineer, especially as a junior. You need to present yourself as someone good in one particular area. So backend with Java, for example, in Spring Boot, front end with React or Vue or something like that, PHP, whatever. It doesn't matter what the specialty is, but you need something. Don't go after just the shiny jobs or put your resume in a format that matches, thousands of different descriptions. That's a surefire way to not get looked at, especially when thousands of people are applying to the exact same positions. Companies will hire someone who matches the role exactly. You would rather match 10 roles exactly than be kind of a decent match for 200 roles. I've seen this over and over and over again. You need a niche, you need a specialty, and you need to prove that you're good in one particular area. Now, the way that you can prove that is by tailoring your resume, writing a description. A lot of people don't have descriptions on their resume. You want like a professional summary at the top that states what your expertise is. You want to refine your skill list, and you want to have, ideally, especially at a junior level, 2 really solid portfolio projects that speak to the specialty that you're talking about. The biggest mistake people make is that their resume is all over the place. They have skills in so many different areas. Again, it's very difficult to break through with that approach. If you're going to say that you're a Python backend developer, for example, both the projects that you have on your resume need to be Python-focused projects. Sure, you can have other skills, but they need to talk to what you're trying to present. Now, the next piece of advice I'm going to give you is to not skip networking and LinkedIn. I get it, okay? No one wants to network. No one wants to be a LinkedIn expert. But so many jobs nowadays are coming from your online presence, which really, in your case, is just going to be LinkedIn. You need a professional photo. You cannot skip that. You will get judged based on how you look. You need to have a pro photo on LinkedIn. You need a professional banner. You need a clear headline that states the role you want to get, not the role you currently have. If you work as a business analyst right now, but you're trying to get a software engineering job, don't put that as the headline on your LinkedIn. Put software engineer. It's fine. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate. You're going to show up in search if you have that. You need to have a professional description. You need to have everything written out clearly. You need to have 500 plus connections. Doing that is very easy. It's low friction, and it drastically increases your chances. From there, if you can start building a network on LinkedIn, reaching out to people and applying actively, where you're actually finding the hiring manager on LinkedIn, sending them a direct message, and doing a really small ask, something that's super easy for them to do, you will see your response rate go up. I know that it's annoying. No one wants to do that. I don't even like to suggest that because I get that most of you are not going to follow that advice. But I've seen it over and over and over again. The people that are active in the job search, that actually put effort in, are the ones that see results. You don't need to know 5 Google employees. You simply need to go out and just reach out to people and try to get something. If you send 1,000 LinkedIn messages, I guarantee you people will get back to you. You will get opportunities and you will have a chance. Just because you did it 10 times and it doesn't work doesn't mean that strategy doesn't work. It just means that you haven't done it enough that's inevitable that it will happen, right? I'll give you a good example. On my YouTube channel, I posted over 200 videos before I hit 10,000 subscribers, okay? Now, that was a lot of videos. And I knew if I just posted enough, eventually I would see success. I did something with so much volume that it was unreasonable I wouldn't get the result. It's the same thing with job hunting. You will get an opportunity. I guarantee it to you. I've seen it from literally everyone that I've worked with. If they do this long enough, they do get chances. But you need to not give up. It is possible. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. If you believe that and you know that it's just the volume that you need to put in, you will get a response. Now, of course, there's smart ways to go about doing this. I teach this inside of my program, Dev Launch. I'm not even trying to sell it to you. Just the point is that you can be more active in the job search. You can, again, pick a niche, target roles that you are actually fit for, and really stand out by reaching out to people. Just give you another quick example. I had someone in my program who actually was sending video messages to all of the YC startups. By doing that, he sent a personalized video message. It was like 45 seconds long of him talking about why he wanted to work for their company, saying their company by name, like it was a legit video message he recorded. He got a 50% response rate from the companies he was doing that with. You can do that. It doesn't take that long. The question is, will you? Now, let's assume you take that advice and you start generating some opportunities. You need to be prepared for interviews before they come up. Again, it's a matter of when, not if. Now, the way to prepare for interviews is just to over-prepare, right? That's literally just the way to do it. You prepare so much that it's impossible that you wouldn't be ready for the type of question that you're going to get asked. It's grueling, it's tough, it's annoying, nobody likes doing it, but once you do this one time, you just set yourself up for life. Now, the way that I suggest doing this is having a combination of practical practice where you're actually writing code day by day, working on projects, as well as doing your DSA prep, right, by following through a structured guideline so you know exactly what problems you should be doing mock interviews with people. That's extremely important. You need to make sure you practice like you're going to play and you emulate a real environment. And then if needed for the type of role you're applying to, of course, doing system design prep as well. The important thing is that you want to walk into an interview feeling like you've done as much prep as you possibly could have so that you completely relieve any nerves or stress. When you know that you've prepared, when you know that you're ready, that you've done an enormous amount of problems, you've actually put in the hours, it's a very relaxing feeling going into an interview because it's not like you're at the Super Bowl. It's not this event that you need to perform for. You've just done the prep. You're just going to do the same thing you've been doing for the past 3 weeks, but now you're going to do it in front of someone else. It's way easier to perform well in an interview when you're over-prepared. And when you feel like that, interviews just become another day. They don't become this massive event, and you can really be relaxed and perform at your best. Now, look, there's a lot of other stuff that I could get into here, right, in terms of how to actually succeed in the market. But generally speaking, it all comes from the mindset. You need to genuinely believe that you can do this, that this is possible. You need to convince yourself that you're the type of person who will figure this out, even if it takes you a year to do so. You need to be willing to put in so much volume that it's unreasonable that you wouldn't get the response. I don't want it to be like that. I don't want you to apply to 1,000 jobs, but if this is something that you truly care about, it's a job you actually want, if you want to take advantage of the school that you went to, all of the work that you've done, you can, but you have to be willing to put in the work, right? A lot of other people are going to do that. It's annoying. It's not great. It's not a market that I love. Again, it just is what it is. You control what you can control. If I told you that I would pay you $5 million if you landed a software engineering job in the next 4 months, you would figure out how to do it. Almost all of you watching this video are capable of landing these roles. And I say almost because some people just aren't a fit for software development. But generally, if you've gone through something like a degree, if you've built projects, if you know you have some legitimate skill, you can do this. It's just a matter of, again, doing it so much that it's unreasonable that you wouldn't get the job. If you have that mindset, you will be successful. And I'll remind you that this is worth doing because software engineering jobs are objectively some of the best jobs in the world in terms of compensation, benefits, prestige, and how they can set you up for the rest of your life. Imagine if you worked at NVIDIA 20 years ago and you got stock, where would you be right now? Look, that's obviously an extreme example. The point is, these are good jobs. That's why there's a lot of competition, but you can get them if you're willing to do the work that all of the other people that are landing jobs are already doing. Now, that's really all I had to say here. I think the overall message, and again, I don't want to be condescending, I'm genuinely trying to kind of motivate you and give you some momentum and help you, is that you are the one that's in control. You decide your fate. That shouldn't be a negative thing. That should be a very empowering thing to realize. Control the things you can control, put in the effort and the work, the small effort compounds over time, and be so prepared when you walk into something like an interview that it's not a question of if you prepared well enough. It's just a matter of, if you're going to get unlucky or not, right? With a really ridiculously hard question or an interviewer in a bad mood. And if you do, so well, it is what it is. You'll get the next one because you've done the work already and you did everything that was reasonable for you to have done. Anyways, guys, that's all that I have for you. I wish you all the best in this job hunt. If you do want assistance with this one-on-one and you like this message, it resonates with you, you're someone who is willing to put in the work, then consider applying for my Dev Lunch program, which I'll leave a link to below, where you can work directly alongside me and other expert software engineers. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.